Welcome, good evening, everyone joining us for this exciting match. This is the first quarterfinals match in the 2024 eSailing Nations Cup. This is Oscar, your host, and with me tonight is going to be Alberto. Alberto, how are you doing?
All good, all good. I'm super excited about this match.
Same. So we're going to see Poland versus Sweden. I just want to have a quick look at the overall standings after the round robin. So France is in lead in first place with 20 points, tied with Japan and Italy. Sweden and Poland are tied for fourth and fifth place with 14 points. Then Germany in sixth with 9 points, and Switzerland in seventh with 8 points. So it's going to be Sweden versus Poland that we're going to witness tonight. Italy versus Germany, and Japan versus Switzerland. France is going to get a bye straight to the semifinals. And we're going to go straight towards the first race, which is going to start in just 20 seconds. Now, all four players lined up. On the Polish side, we have Scheidler Finn and Attila Kila. On the Swedish side in black, we have SGR 88, Sweet Sailor. A very good side for both teams. Probably one of the strongest combination of male and female players that we have for these both teams in the whole competition. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And this is actually a comeback from the final of the eSailing World Championship where SGR and Antila Aquila were against each other for the World Championship final.
Yeah, exactly. SGR 88 finishing in 8th in that final, and Antila and Kila finishing 12th. Antila and Kila having qualified via the steering the course competition, and SGR 88 via the Swedish hosting nation circuit to get into that grand final. I'm going to have a quick look at the chats, and we have Luis 1041, nice boat. Indeed, these two boats have their own skins, and one of the two prettiest boats, I think. I really like the black Swedish one. It's out of common, and the Polish has had a TLC and is one of the best in the game so far, I'm going to say, for the liveries. Avel, hello. Nice to see you again. Supporting Sweden again. 318 Runo, hello guys. Nice to see you. And Breast Power, nice to see you in there as well. Almost done with this first upwind leg. The Swedes have the advantage according to the ranking on the left. We see Antila Aquila fighting it with SGR 88, and it's going to be Sweet Sailor versus Shiloh Finn on the top of your screen over there. So yeah, this is going to be interesting.
To be honest, Sweet Sailor is also really, really close to Antila Aquila. So if he can give a penalty now and try to escape, this will be definitely a game changer for the Swedish.
Yep. And well, I've looked a bit on the performances of these two teams in the previous Nations Cup. And well, I'm going to start with this one in 2024. So these two teams already went head to head in the round robin stage. Sweden took the win. That was a 4-3 for Sweden. But these two teams also already played against each other in 2023 during the group phases, both in the same group. And it was Poland who took the win back then. And well, the highest Poland has ever gone into the eSailing Nations Cup was in the semifinals in 2023, whereas Sweden has yet to reach any kind of semifinal in the Nations Cup. So it's a toss-up on who can take it tonight, because these two teams are very close, and we're expecting some very tight racing and some back and forth between these two teams.
Actually, I am agreeing on what the Swedish team is doing. Just keep the first. You can sort it out in the last upwind for who's getting the fourth position. At the moment, you just need to stay close, do not go too far away, and keep the first so you can save yourself some trouble in the last upwind. If you start to fight now, that will be definitely a trouble, because being at right now in the game and losing that momentum is going definitely to ruin the last part of the race for both of the team.
Yep. And well, I'm still going to go on with some stats. So in this final, Poland has won 4 times out of 6 this 2v2 mixed race, versus Sweden, who has only won it 3 times. So we could say that Poland has a slight advantage for this race, averaging at 3.67 points in average for a 2v2. So that means that they've scored 3 points several times, and they've lost it only twice. in total.
You know, this kind of competition right now, we can keep the data from previous event, but having the new M-shaped course made by Virtual Regatta, this is definitely a game changer, making
Yep.
more interesting and making more exciting. So definitely, for example, right now we see Slido that is going to keep a Swedish sailor in a really, really bad position, while the two female are fighting for the other position. Not really understand what Swedish sailor want to accomplish in that way. He is abandoning Antilla Aquila to her fate. So creating this much of a gap between the first and the last one will allow people to have an easier comeback. As you can see at the moment, SGR is fighting with Antilla Aquila. She has the lead, but she wants to close up the gap between
Yep.
the
And in
two
the
groups.
2v2, you're gonna have 5 points or less. So a 1 and 4 is a losing combo. If you get that fourth place, you're basically losing this match.
Yeah.
So we'll see how these two sailors will react depending on how their partners do at the back. But the gap has become smaller, and the SGR88 is now in Shiloh-Finn's wind shadow. That we are out the mark almost. Louis 1041, I sailed 2, now 5 euro, go to laser of catamaran. So you're sailing laser or catamaran. That's nice to see. Actually, most of our community is actually real life sailors as well. So you're gonna find lots of like-minded and like sported people in the community. As Shiloh-Finn takes a penalty at the mark, Sweet Sailor does so as well. So it's one penalty for each team. Still very close. This last upwind is going to decide everything.
Yep. The most important thing for the Swedish team is now to keep one position ahead for Slido, in front of Slido. So on the last upwind, you have the opportunity to cover him and give him a penalty and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, we do see SR88 easing her sails, putting a penalty again on Shiloh-Finn. This
Oh,
is going to be huge
double
as
penalty.
Ankila also takes a penalty. Two of the Polish on penalty, and SGR88 is going to sit on Attila Aquila, trying to extend the penalty so that a Sweet Sailor can overtake her. Sweet Sailor deciding to stay on starboard and go towards the left of the course for attacking. He's soon going to cross paths with Attila Aquila. Orestic
I do not
1256.
understand.
How can I
I do not
participate?
understand. Sorry. Go.
Sorry, I'm just going to answer Orestic 1256 in the chat. How can I participate? Who is code? So this is the eSailing Nations Cup, which means that this is a federation versus federation team racing competition. So in order to participate, you need to get close to your sailing federation. So depending on which country that is, for example, in Poland, that's going to be the Polish Sailing Polish Yacht Association. In Sweden, that's going to be the. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm going to take an easier example. For France, that's going to be the FFV. In Italy, it's going to be the FIV. So get close to your federation and ask them about their eSailing program. Maybe you'll be able to enter their team for the eSailing Nations Cup. Back to you, Alberto.
I believe at the moment the Polish has taken the lead in this 2v2. I do not understand why Swedish Sailor make that many mistakes during the lowest reaching part, and he put SGR in a lot of trouble just to try to keep the Polish team closer over there. Definitely this one is a win for Poland, 1-2.
Yep. Win for Poland. So they have won more of these 2v2s mixed in the earlier stages of the Nations Cup. They're doing it again. And that was well played by them. And so far it is 1-0 for Poland.
Yep. What do you think about this first match?
It was what I was hoping to see. Battles, some back and forth, no clear winners until the very end.
What we can tell about this this group, we have the opportunity to know Rommel during the final in Stockholm. We met also Furan in Stockholm. So there is a lot of the community that was Swedish community that was in Stockholm for the final, and that was amazing to see all of them joining to cheer all the eSailor that were present for the final. On the other hand, we have Zlajdlo Finn, a Finn sailor, Formansky, and Jakub Podgorny. 30 seconds to the start. And I believe the hitting of the moment is going to become really interesting.
In the
We have
previous
people trying.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry. In the previous encounter, I was going to say that the Swedish took this round, so Poland took the first round in the first time they saw each other in this year's competition. It's going to be a weird start over here for Jakub and Furan, both taking a penalty, touching the mark in a false start. But we see a split with Sieber going slightly more towards the left, tacking over Formansky over here. Rommel having control over Zlajdlo Finn, and Jakub next to Furan.
Here, Zlajdlo, I think he made something like a mistake, tried to give a dial down to Rommel, to Furan, sorry. He is already behind. He needs to catch the group ahead because Sieber at the moment is slowing down Formansky a lot. Rommel Train is doing the same to Jakob, and Furan is doing the same to Zlajdlo. So at the moment, I would say the Swedes are in the lead.
Up.
A little bit of confusion between the Polish at the moment, stacking in front of each other. Oh, almost a penalty here between Formansky and Jakob. And the Swedes are 1-2-3. So this allows Furan to have more control over the Polish, and he can slow them down a lot during the next part of this upwind leg.
Yep. Well, we see it in the past again. Throwing some stats over here. Poland has only won twice this 3v3 in the whole of the round robin, whereas this is the strongest race for the Swedish, where they have won 4 out of 6 times this race. The Swedish against the other countries in the round robin stage. So this is definitely one of their races where they are going to feel the most confident, and they perform the best. And we see it here with a 1-2-3 from Sweden over here. Furan is going to have some fun at the back.
And allow Roman and Sieber to run away with a always winning combo of 1-2.
Yep. In a 3v3, 1-2 or 1-3 is a winning combo. The Swedes currently have the 1-2-3, so we're going to say it is fairly secure for them. Furan slowing down Zlajdlo Finn, gonna chase up on Formansky, not putting any penalties, but did force them to do some maneuvers. And he's gonna focus on a player or two, try to slow them down and ping pong between all these boats.
Everything without giving one penalty. Amazing job by Furan. That I mean, now he didn't give a penalty.
Just gave a penalty to Jakub, and he's gonna sail straight towards Zlajdlo Finn, his next target.
Seems like a hit and run here. Hit one, run to the other one. He has a lot of fun in this downwind like Furan. And as you can see, the Polish already almost think that.
It's going to be very hard to catch Rommel and Seabear at the front over here. They have almost 70-meter lead.
Yeah.
With the Ilka, they are going to slow down a bit on the reaching, so that lead is going to narrow down slightly, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make a huge difference. And then it's all going to be in the upwind with the wind shifts. They just need to sail their race correctly, and they'll be safe.
Yep.
And Foran is going to be sandwiched between two Polish and is going to take the penalty here by Shadlofin defending his teammate. Suddenly he's in 6, so it's going to be harder for him to get the Polish attention.
Yeah, the problem is now on the hand of Seabear and Rommel.
Yep. They just need to
They need
finish
to go as
1-2
fast
or
as they
1-3.
can.
1-2 or 1-3, it's fine for them. Formansky is quite close to them, so is Jakub. We see that they split over here. Seabear staying on starboard to reach the middle of this upwind. Rommel tries to stick more towards the right side of the course.
Yep. The Polish are doing everything by the book. When they tell you how to gain position, they tell you to open up, to split, and allow the Swedish to allow the opponents to make a mistake. Here, the Polish are doing exactly this in a by the book maneuver here.
Yeah, no, you're kind of forced to do this. Maybe hoping for favorable shifts for one of your players. If you can cover the whole course, then at some point someone is going to get the advantage.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll be enough to catch up with those in front. So we do see Formansky getting closer and closer to Rommel, but he is still in the wind shadows. Rommel's still above and still in control.
I do not understand why Rommel at the moment is losing the mainsail. They needed to go there. They need to close the race and finish as soon as they can.
Yep. Just cross the finish line with a 1 and 2. Even if you give a second place to Formansky and you finish on third, that's fine. Formansky decided that he's gonna try to slow down Uran and maybe hope for a 3, 4, or 5, even though that's not gonna be enough. 1-2-6 is always a winning combination. If you have 1-2 or 1-3, regardless of what the other teammate finishes in, you're gonna get the win over here. As Swedish crosses the finish line, it's gonna be 1-2 for Sweden. Number 3 for Poland, and looks like number 4 is gonna go for Sweden again.
Yeah. And 5 and 6 for Poland. That is always a losing combo. 2, 1, go.
And there we go. So Ala Komor, Harding, foiled 1, Dr. Cruel for the Swedish in black, Antila, Kila, Lachefa GBA, Misko Moravski, and Vari for the Polish in white and red. Pretty strong fleets for Poland, I'm gonna say.
Exactly. I was actually saying the same. Pretty strong fleet for Poland. I'm not sure with Harding coming back on this. This is his first race during this eSailing Nations Cup, and let's see if he can keep up with all the changes, with all the modification, and with the amazing team that he has around.
He did play a couple of races in Sweden's last matchup last weekend.
Sorry. I missed that.
And he was doing pretty good. He did everything he could. I don't think they won the round in which he was sailing, but he did everything he could to make it happen. So definitely not a pushover. As we're approaching 12 seconds to go before the start line, before the start line can be crossed. Looks like we might have a late starter from Poland.
Yeah, it's surprising to see Poland in such a difficulty over this start, with only Antila Aquila in the lead and all the rest really, really far behind. Amazing swap between Harding and Alokomor. Dr. Krull on the attack of Mieszko Morawski, and Harding is probably going to attack over him.
Yep.
And giving him a
just
super hard time.
Do you have
have
a
you
visual
seen
on the
Foil?
No, I haven't. Do you have a visual on the Twitch chat by any chance?
No.
So
What did they ask?
Se qualcuno era latiamo mi può spiegare bene come funziona, per favor, grazie.
Okay, let me turn on. I think I have to reach on the phone.
And Lucas saying Harding has been grinding TRL just like the rest of the team race pros. And there we go. Well, yes, indeed, I am French.
Okay, are you French? Yes. Wait, no, that's Spanish. Inglés, por favor.
Scroll up a bit. Meanwhile, it looks like Sweden has better control over the fleet. We've just seen Harding putting a penalty here on Mieszko Morawski. Dr. Krul is going to tack under Attila Aquila, who's going to have to watch out for Ala Komor and the other Swedes getting in close over here.
Yeah.
And well, Attila Aquila is in the lead, so she can, and she's followed by 3 of the Swedish boats, so she can do some damage and slow them down without risking penalizing her teammates and doing friendly fire. So if she can do an efficient mark trap, it's definitely going to slow them down and give a chance to her 3 teammates behind who did manage to penalize Foiled. But she does no mark trap. She is going to sail on port towards the left side where there is slightly more breeze. The 3 Swedish are going to follow her, but we do see Alakomar over here being wind shadowed by Very, so Polish are still in the mix. We see one of them going on starboard towards the right side of the course.
At the moment, Poland have 20 points. So I believe, no, 19 over. It's really a tough match between all the players here.
It's going to be 18 points
they're
or
really,
less.
really close. Yeah. Another penalty for the Swedish. Vari is actually holding up to his name. A lot of penalty here for, and this one was for Alokomor. Now for the Swedish is the most important thing is to try to get the first 2 positions. But at the moment is a really, really tricky thing.
Yep. So with
they have the first one.
I was going to say, with 18 points, you can have a tie between the 2 teams. Both teams can score 18 points. If that is the case, then you should not have the first place, because in that scenario, the win is going to go to the opposing team. That's how team racing works. In case of tie in points between 2 teams, the team for which they do not have the first player gets the win. And it's pretty tight. We still have Harding in the lead, but a lot of Polish players behind him.
I have to say, a nice comeback for the Polish.
Yeah. Looking at previous rounds in this Nations Cup, Poland has won 4 out of the 6 4v4 J70s, whereas Sweden has won 3 of them.
I think we're going for another tie here, 2-2. But look at Mieszko Morawski here. He is not in a good position.
Yeah, so 7 and 8 is always a losing 7 and 8 is always a losing combo in in the 4v4. So if the Swedish play their cards right, they can push him into 7th place, and this is what they're doing right now, taking the penalty and extending that penalty to slow him down as much as they can. And suddenly we have 3, 4, 5, 6 for Sweden, which is the winning combination in this particular scenario. 18 points for each, but with Poland having the first place, it's going to be a win for Sweden unless things shuffle.
Yeah. Let's see what Antila, Aquila, and Vari can do to slow down the Swedish team, because they cannot tuck too much, because people that are going straight can actually gain from this, but they cannot tuck too little, because if they tuck too little, there will be also a problem in that. So tough for the Polish at the moment, and they need probably to lose the 1-2 and go for a hunt for 2 penalty for the Swedish.
Yeah, they have to bring either Mieszko above 1 place or just focus hard on some Swedish boats to shift the balance here.
I believe at the moment the Polish are going to win if Foil do not do anything. Foil, he is the person that he needed to slow down Mieszko Morawski, or he can do the 6th position. At the moment, the Swedish have made a terrible mistake here, and they're risking to lose their race just because Foiled is not covering Mieszko Morawski accurately. What do you think?
We'll see the decision over here. Foil has climbed up in the ranking as well, so he's taking some good places. But Mieszko Morawski has as well. And he's going to cross his path with 3 of the Swedish boats, and they have the starboard advantage. And we see Dr. Cool dialing down onto him. Will that be enough? Alakomor needs to cross before Mieszko, but I don't think that happened. Looks like Mieszko took the 6th place and not the 7th. But the Polish have also lost their 1 and 2 positions, so this is going to be very tight. That is correct. 2-1 for Sweden. And how the tie rate works, Avel GMA. So in a tie of points, which is the case 18-18, since it's team racing, the team for which the first player crossed the finish line, so in this case it was Poland, their first player to cross the finish line was a Polish player, means that the win will go to Sweden. The idea behind this is that it's team racing, so you have to work with your team, and you gotta make sure that your team finishes well, and you're just not sailing your course alone and finishing as fast as possible. So finishing first can kind of lean into that, which is why finishing first isn't necessarily a good thing in team racing. In fleet racing, absolutely, but
and we have the Polish at the moment that are closing to the line. I'm not sure if you needed to change the scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the hint.
And 15 seconds, I believe both the team are really, really close to the start. Offshore allowed to give a lot of penalty during the start, so we'll see probably a couple of penalties here and there.
A lot of penalties, actually. 4 penalties in total from Tim Janik, Harding, Swede Sailor, and Petur Sinovic. Penalty start for one of them over here, Petur Sinovic, penalty start. Let me explain what this is. We actually have 2 penalty starts, I see. Penalty starts when you take a penalty between T minus 14 seconds and T minus 3 seconds. And during that penalty, you take another penalty by, for example, crossing a boat, touching the mark, or other stuff like this. Your penalty time is going to be, and cross the start line on port, your penalty time will be extended by 10 seconds. So you're going to get the 10 seconds of the initial penalty plus 10 seconds after added. So you're going to be slowed down for a total of 20 seconds at the start.
So at the moment, the 2 teams are tied up, and this one will be definitely a really tough upwind. Just to let you know, before I was trying to count all the penalties that happened during the whole race, and we have only 10 penalties in the whole race in the 4v4. I believe we are already past that line.
We're probably already
in the
past
5v5.
Just
this
here,
is definitely
another
a festival.
another 3 penalties here for Very Petur Sinovic, and I didn't have time to see the other one, but it looks like the Polish were heavily penalized at that round mark. Yep. at that mark rounding. And we have 1, 2, 3 for Sweden over here, with 2 Swedish boats
Remember,
in the mix. Harding taking another penalty and being slowed down behind.
I just want to remember that 1, 2, 5 is the worst you can have with 1, 2. That is always winning. So 1, 2, 3 is definitely a winning combo. And I believe at the moment the Swedes are kind of in control, but never say never. We saw this before, and I'm not sure how to predict anymore, because there is a place with a big puff, like where there are the 2 Swedes now. There are places with no wind where Zymap is. So you never know.
Yep. And well, historically between these two teams, the offshore racer isn't necessarily their favorite boats. Poland has won 3 of the 6 races in the 5v5 offshore, and Sweden has only won 2 of them.
Yeah. So I believe pretty tied up.
Yep.
Over that. And the match between them, who won the 5v5?
And the match between them in the 5v5, it was a Swedish win. But it was a Swedish win it was a Polish win for the round just before this one, and it was a Swedish win this time. So maybe it's going to be a reverse again. Though Sweden looks like in a more comfortable position than Poland at the end of this downwind.
Yeah. They still have 1, 2, 4, but at the moment Vari is doing his best to stop Swedish Sailor. I believe Yoko needs to run away, keep the second position, and let Swedish Sailor get 1 penalty, and then try to run away as fast as it could to avoid it, to bring everyone in the mix.
And they're really emphasizing that he wants to slow down Sweet Sailor, putting the penalty on him at the end. You said 1, 2, 5 is the worst that you can go for getting a losing combo. So the Polish are gonna make sure that he goes up to 6th at least. And we see that Yoko has eSailing and is waiting for Vari to try to slow him down, make him take a wider angle at the mark. A Sweet Sailor taking another penalty here from Zimus and falling down to 6th. Temjanik might be able to overtake him as he is above him, trying to extend that penalty time. And so the Swedish still have 1 and 2, but 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Polish. Alakomor is dialing back down. He's going to try to concentrate on Petursinovic or Temjanik. Or maybe not, but he didn't cross the finish line. He wanted to see how his teammates were going to fare against the Polish at the back, because well, crossing the finish line can give you the losing scenario. SGR 88 at the back unfortunately touched the mark, so that is an unfortunate penalty that's going to slow her down. Going to be hard for her to get out of this 10th position. Very suddenly taking first place according to the ranking on the right. Alakomor taking a penalty here from Petursinovic, who's going to sail fast towards the finish line. Very trying to protect his teammate Zimus under it, and it might be a 1, 2, 3 suddenly for Poland.
What happened here? What happened here? A complete reverse. A lot of mistake done by both the team. Poland didn't start properly. Sweden didn't manage to keep the race alive. Really strange way how to conduct this race. And congratulations to Poland that bring back to the tide. Wow. What are we seeing at the moment? That was a finish, my friend. This is absolutely amazing. What we can say about this 9v9 with the 49er?
So, well, first off, it's going to be a very fast boat, a very fast race with a lot of winds, and it's going to be a different horse. So with the 49er, most of the difference is going to be on the upwind compared to the downwind, which we had with the other boats. Has a very small wind shadow, so it's not going to be as effective to try to focus on the downwind, which is what I'm trying to say. the upwind is the most efficient. The course is going to be an upwind downwind. The upwind mark is going to be left on port this time instead of starboard. So watch out with the confusion over there. Do not round the mark the wrong way. And it's the classic upwind downwind that we know and love.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one, if the crazy round was before in the 5v5, what we can say about this one is complete madness. Do you think he's accurate enough?
This one, I think, is going to be a roller coaster of emotions. One of them is going to take the lead at the start, and then it's going to flip during the downwind, and flip again in the upwind, and flip again in the downwind. So we won't be sure until the very end.
So who
And the
is
race
getting the
is
lead now?
given, and we have more penalties. More penalties on the Polish side, though some of the Swedish were also penalized. According to the ranking on the left, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Swedes.
I'm not saying that he's always a winning the 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's definitely not a bad start.
No, definitely not a bad start. And for the Polish, 16, 17, 18 is very costful.
Yeah.
But this is just the first few meters of this first upwind, and we're going to see a lot of changes because the wind has time to shift, the pressure has time to change, and the players have time to make mistakes.
Yeah. And do you see the left wing shift coming? Then I do not understand what that wind shape is coming over there, but it's definitely a tricky one. And as you can see, all the Swedish are attacking in the last patch of wind, sailing at 11 knots, while Korba is low down of more than half a knot.
Yeah,
I believe
this is
the
where
Swedish keep the 1, 2, 3, but the Polish are coming back in a better position. What do you think?
this is where the upwind is very efficient with one good shift, some efficient wind shadowing. You can gain like 50 meters easily on your opponents. It does look like from this top view that we have more Swedish players in front.
It's a black army in the front.
Yeah.
And the
means
only
there's also
one in
more
the lead
potential for
is.
friendly fire. So we'll see how this mark rounding
That's
go.
true.
Watch out, this mark is being rounded on port this time, not on starboard. If you compare it to the previous race, and it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Swedes. Turcinovic slowing down just a bit to put the penalty here on Seabear, which is good to do because that allows his teammates behind to gain some meters on him.
Yeah. Harding, though, is just beside Turcinovic and Miecko-Morawiecki. Sorry.
Yep.
My tongue twisted here. Turcinovic and Miecko-Morawiecki. So I believe this one will be definitely a downwind where something will happen because Turcinovic is going for the attack, but Harding needs to cover his teammate to make sure that they will have always a clear wind. Exactly what he's doing on Miecko-Morawiecki, and Miecko-Morawiecki is laughing up, so it actually take one off from the course, and Turcinovic now is the only one in the top 5 that can actually do something. Ooh, nice miss between Turcinovic and.
Hermansky takes the penalty here from Harding. Harding doing some work over here. If we're looking at their past experiences with the 9v9 49er, Poland has won only once their 9v9, and Sweden has won 3 times their 9v9.
This is an interesting fact. This explains a lot. You see, except Alocomore and SGR that are not performing really well in this race. Top 3 setter are Swedish, and then we have all the one in the middle, but there is a big chunk that was penalized by Harding. So definitely a good moment for the Swiss here.
Yeah, Swedish. That was an amazing job from Harding, putting in the work.
The Swedish, yeah. Sorry.
But we see with this upwind, this first 9 players have changed again. We have 4 Polish, 5 Swedish, and the Swedish also have the 2 last places.
This is
Fighting
an
it for
interesting thing.
Krizik, and obviously, as I said, that the Polish now have the last place instead of the Swedish.
Yeah.
Let's focus back to the front. It's going to be a 1-2 again from Sweden at the top mark over there. It's going to be tight between Foiled and Peturskinovic, but Foiled manages to attack over him. He's going to have control over Peturskinovic, and who is following Peturskinovic is going to be some Polish teammates, so can't really penalize or slow down some opponents. 1, 2, 3
Yeah,
is still in
Korba
the
have
Swedish. And Korba is going to have a nice opportunity here to put on some damage, and he is doing that. He's going to ease his sails, wait for them to approach. Decides finally he is going to keep sailing. Probably going to try to wait for them in this last mark, the last downwind leg. We see behind Simus and Alakomor are taking the penalties, 1 on each side.
it's really tough to follow everything.
Yeah.
So if you're following the front, something happening in the back. If you're following the back, something happening in the front. It's complete madness, as I said before.
Well, we see the captain here of the Swedish team, Dr. Krull, fighting with Korba. He's going to try to slow him down. Where Mansky is number 8 or 9 now. He's going to fight with the Sea Bear.
It's interesting how the Swedish put their captain in. Yeah, sorry, the Swiss. Yeah, I know. The Swedish actually put their captain in the 9v9, but the Polish don't. And
Yeah, so
I believe
with
this one.
with the stat of the Polish only winning 1 of their 9v9s, they might be thinking, let's not focus too much on this race and let's focus more of our good players on the other races so that we are more guaranteed to win the quote-unquote easier races or more strategic races where we have more control over what's happening. But it is a 1, 2, 3 for Sweden. Sorry, 4, 5, 6 maybe for Poland. It's going to be very tight. Poland does still have the last place. They went completely on the right over here. We didn't really follow what was happening. Must have been some battles for them to end up over here. Jakub dodging a penalty from SGR. He's going to try to penalize her, slowing down, but that's not going to be enough. Krizek is going to finish last. And let's do a bit of maths.
Are you sure?
No, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10.
I will let you do the math because this one will be a tough one. But if I can say, I will say 10 points advantage for the Swedish.
And looks like you are going to be more or less correct. I'll give you the final ranking in a sec. But it is 78 for Sweden and 93 for Poland. So the win goes to Sweden.
They're
Is
still
there a quota
deciding when
of
to do it.
how many rounds you're allowed to compete in, or how does that work? So each team has a maximum number of players they can submit, and then each player has a maximum number of race they can participate in. And each player has until a certain race to compete in. So they can't join at you need to have at least 10 players joining in before race 5, and each player cannot race more than 3 or 4 times.
4 races.
4 races.
4 times.
So 4 times.
3 times during the round robin, 4 times during the knockoff, because we go up to 9 races. And in this way, we'll have more opportunity to race. As it was tight for 10 players before, now they have more room to work with. So more stronger player can do the difference. But once insanely strong player cannot win the race by himself.
there is some
35 seconds to the start.
there is some strategy to think about when you're composing your team and selecting which player races where and all of that. So obviously you need to win 5 races to get the win in the knockout stages. So you're going to concentrate likely on 5 races where you're going to bank your best players. But these two teams on a very equal level, so it's going to be, well, we're seeing it so far. It's very interesting to see. 5 seconds to go. All players approaching the ley line. Fairly evenly spread out. We see no penalties, no whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's a 3v3 again. So 1 and 2, where 1 and 3 is the winning combo. If you do not have 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, then do not be in 6.
Yep. I cannot be more accurate than that.
And let me look a bit on the history in the 3v3 mixed race. The two teams are equal.
Wow.
They have both won twice the 3v3 mixed race. And in their last encounter, it was Sweden taking the win.
Okay. I believe here the Polish have the advantage, a slight advantage. But to be honest, it's not that much. And look, Dr. Krull for the hunt. Oh my god. Dr. Krull penalized SGR. And avoid Antila Aquila. Yeah. Amazing job by Antila, to be honest, in this occasion.
Yeah.
But Dr. Krull efforts were not completely useless, because in this way, Rommel, that has the right of way, he actually get to the second position, and they create a little bit of problems, even if Zledofin now is trying to.
Yeah, Zledofin is going to be the first to reach the mark zone. And he is followed by 2 Swedish players, so he can put some damage in. But decides not to. He's going to keep sailing. He's not going to do anything in the mark zone. Krull or Rommel are not going to do the same, or they're going to do the same either. They're just going to keep sailing. Zledofin deciding to take his SPE out, going faster than the rest of them. So maybe pulling out the SPE is the good strategy. We see almost more than a knot difference between those who have the SPE in and those who have the SPE out.
But the question is, do you think the Swedish trust the match between SGR and Antila Aquila? Because at the moment, the winning team is the Polish.
Yep. So that 6th position is when you don't have the 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 is losing. And not that SGR 88 is not capable of doing whatsoever. It's just that there's going to be 2 Polish trying to keep her in the 8th position. So she's likely going to need some help.
And Dr. Krull is doing an amazing job here blocking for Mansky.
And so that, we have 1 and 3 for Polish now. So they just need to get one of the other Polish out of the top 3.
Yeah.
SGR, no, Dr. Krull, sorry, penalizing Formansky over here, slowing him down even more. And SGR 88 is going to sail towards Antila Aquila. Try to slow her down as much as he can. Rommel, in the meantime, is still focusing on Zledofin. So far, in this scenario, it is still a Polish win with the 1 and 3.
Yep. And I do not understand why Dr. Krull is not going to help exactly SGR.
He's still focusing on
amazing job.
Formansky. Putting him in the wind shadow is not going to jive inside of him.
Yep. SGR need to go away from there, yeah.
Yeah, and I think basically the Polish are kind of waiting for the Swedish to make a move because they don't necessarily need to risk anything yet. They're still in the winning combination, so they just need to defend.
Now it's Rommel that has to make a magic here.
Yeah, and Rommel is going to be pushed away by Zledofin. Nice defense so far by the Polish.
Yeah. SGR tried to keep the right-hand side of the racing area, so in case, because they're going in a no-wind area, as you can see, it's going slightly faster, like 0.2 faster than until Aquila. So he definitely could close the gap and get the right of way. So Antila at the moment is in a really risky position. Another penalty for Mansky
Mansky
from
by
Dr.
Dr.
Krug.
Krug.
Rommel needs to try to push Slide away.
Yeah, they need to put one of the Polish out of the top three, and they're doing just that. Antila Kila having to do a U-turn. Rommel finally deciding to round the mark, and so the Swedes now have 2 and 3. Without the 6th position, so they are now in the winning combination.
Yeah.
Meaning that Shidlofin is going to have to do something to put Antila Kila back into the top 3. Romansky taking a penalty here by Dr. Krul.
Yeah, but that was a mistake by Dr. Krug.
And I'm focusing
because he
back
lost
in
the
front.
position.
Yeah, Rommel taking a penalty. Still keeping the 2nd place. And Shidlofin is going to have to focus on one of these 2 Swedes. 5. It is now a win for Polish if we snapshot the ranking. This is going to change until the very last second again.
Yeah.
And Rommel is going to get closer to Furmansky. Polish had the 1 and 3 for a second over there.
Now YSG attacked. She need to go for Antila. She need for a hunt over Antila.
Oh, she's getting closer to Shidlo, who's going to attack over her, keep her in the wind shadow. And it looks like Rommel is the one who's going to go for Antila. It'll dial down here by Rommel, putting the penalty on Antila Kila, who's going to be slowed down for 10 seconds.
And SGR now need to go for Formansky.
And SGR is getting close to Furmansky over here. Furmansky does have the starboard, but SGR is ahead. She's going to attack over him, slow him down. Shidlo is going to follow that move. And the Polish now have the 1 and 2, meaning that Attila and Kila actually managed to get back to her 2nd place. Romo let her escape. And it's going to be a tight finish. If Shilofin, I think, can get the 1st place, it's too late now to put any penalties. And now you're going to have to hope that one of your teammates get the 2nd or 3rd position. And that's the case. It's going to be a 1-2-3 for Poland, as SGR88 took the penalty at the last second over there. Well played by Poland, well defended.
And actually, the 4v4 with F50, which stats you can give us about this one?
So let's have a look. In the 4v4 F50, Poland has won 2 of the 6. Sweden has also won 2 of the 6. And in their previous match, it was a Swedish win.
Do you remember how much?
13.
Also?
13 points for Sweden, 23 for Poland.
Okay.
And it is 18 or less to win without the 1st place, because you can have a tie at 18 points.
Yeah. But I don't believe I will ever see an 18 points tied in the F50.
The F50 can be very chaotic. It is very unforgiving. So fast that the slightest mistake can cost you the race.
Yeah. Everybody is really, really too early at the moment. The only one is Jakub Podgorny that I think is going to have the best start if he doesn't get a penalty.
And so watch out for the false start. Watch out for the friendly fire. We see penalty here on Ala Komor and Rommel. but Seabear has the lead. And is going to
Nice mark truck
slow
by
down, and that
Seabear.
is excellent work from him, slowing down the 4 Polish boats. Very taking some
Friendly
friendly fire
fire.
in the mix as well, meaning that Alakomor and Rommel, who had a tough start, can get back into it. And a Seabear continuing on his rampage, penalizing Jakub Podgorny.
Still keeping in the 1-2, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is
But
impressive.
Alakomor taking the penalty here, very having maybe a slightly too aggressive, lost a bit of time trying to put that penalty on. And Alakomor is likely going to remain in 7th.
This penalty is costly from very perspective, like Dr. Clue did before. I do not understand though why Seabear is acting like this.
Well, he did put
But
several
another
penalties
friendly
now.
fire.
Another penalty on Mieszko, but he's going to be dialed down by Jakub dodging that attack.
Yeah.
7 and 8 is a losing combo in the 4v4.
Yeah. And with a 2 full start and a 2 friendly fire, they're tied up at 3 penalty each for each team.
And well, so far Sweden has the advantage, but if the Polish can put 2 of their boats in 7 and 8, they can still take the win. It's going to be.
I believe Seabear have the opportunity here to slow Jakub.
Tried to do it, but Jakub managed to escape.
Amazingly done by Rommel here, and the Locomore also keep the 4th position.
Yeah, as Seabear is taking another penalty here at the mark. Temjanik also taking a penalty over here, and they need to focus on Rommel and Alakomor. Try to put them into 7th. They already have Seabear in 8.
Yeah. The problem is on the F50, you need to be ahead of the other one to do this.
Yep. So it's going to be in the upwind, hoping for a favorable shift, favorable attack. You can always hope for a mark touch or jinxing it like that, but you shouldn't be relying on your opponent's mistake to win a race. But so far,
here
so
a small
good
mistake by Foran that do not allow Rommel Alakomar to be sailed without any problem. But right now everybody is out of the cover. Rommel train is actually trying to cover Jakub with no actual reason to do that. They just need to go fast and need to go fast as much as they can. Alakomar has the right of way. He just need to not tuck in front of him. It should be fine for the Swedish.
Yeah, all Swedish are able to sail comfortably in front of the Polish. It's going to be very hard for them to do anything now, because it's going to be one last downwind and then a reaching finish. Everything's going to be decided here.
Yeah.
The Polish
Let's
can't
hope
put
to
a
not see
penalty
any friendly fire or a penalty on the mark.
or mark touching or anything, but does not look like it. Very at the back taking a penalty over here from Seabear. Doesn't really matter much because they still have 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Even if they have 1, 2, 3, having a Seabear in 7th means that even if you get a Locomore, you are still not winning.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why we're saying it's a win now for Sweden. It's no way in these last meters Poland can make a difference, especially now that Alakomar has crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, And 7 for Sweden, 4, 5, 6, 8 for Poland. It's going to be a Swedish win.
4-3.
Yep. And this is how it ended last time. Not with the same wins everywhere, but the same score.
So, is it going to finish 5-3, or they are delaying until and they're going for 4 and they're?
I'm gonna join what Dane Law said. This deserves to go to the last race. I'm gonna agree with that. So I'm hoping for a 4-4.
Yeah.
Obviously, the players themselves, well, the Polish are gonna hope for a 4-4, but the Swedish are gonna hope for a 5-3, ending the competition. Well, ending this competition at the end of this race. We'll see how it goes. We have no way to compare it really with the previous races because this is the first time they sailed this in this Nations Cup. We can, however, say that in the Ilka, the Swedish have been performing better than the Polish.
And the 5v5?
And in the 5v5, it is the Polish who have performed better than the Swedish.
So we cannot say 1-1 each.
Getting close to the start line, 3 seconds to go. Watch out for any false starts. Poland looking fairly good.
1 penalty each.
1 penalty
for
the two teams. 1 penalty for Formanski. Yoko is sandwiched between 2 Polish, Vary and Lachefa GBA. They're going to continue on starboard. And Sismus is going to go on port to join the other Swedish. Some miscommunication here between the 2 Swedish for the one putting a penalty on Harding.
This is amazing, my friend. At the moment, the Polish are in the lead, are in control, but we said the same things in the 3v3 before.
We'll see, because the important thing here is to stay close to your opponent, because with this much wind in the Ilka, the downwind is going to be very, very fast. So if your opponent reaches a downwind before you, it's going to be very hard to catch up to them if they can't escape your wind shadow. So you want to be close to them to make sure that they're always in your wind shadow, so then you can try to attack them and, well, they can't escape you. But so far, according to the ranking on the left, it's a 1-2-3 for the Polish. The points to gather is 27 or less.
This is definitely a win for the Polish in this moment, but it's too early to call, even with a penalty to Yoko.
Yeah,
because look here, Dr. Krull 1 miss. If he had hit both of the all three of them, he would have changed completely the race.
Oh, he is pushing Attila and Kila into 9th. With 1, 2, 3, you can finish 9 and 10.
Yeah. To be honest, not enough penalty for being a 5v5 here.
Yeah, well, as you said that,
I'm calling for that.
Lachefa GBA takes the penalty from foiled. Backing onto the ley line. We're back onto the end shape, so this mark is rounded by being left on starboard. But it is going to be the 2 Swedish, Vary and Sismus, reaching that top mark first, followed by 3 Swedish boats. So if they want to do some damage, it is now. But no mark trap whatsoever. Attila Kila is in reinforcements as well in this top 5. Or top 6.
To be honest, at the moment they are tied up. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 9, 10 is 27. No, actually, there's 1 point. They are there. It's 1 point difference, 27, 28.
You want 27 or less?
Yeah, 27 Swedish at the moment.
You see Dr. Krull, who managed to reach into the mark zone first. trying to do a mark trap over here, penalizing himself by trying to attack Attila and Kila. Vari and Zimus managed to escape, but they are being chased by, is that Sweet Sailor?
Yeah.
Sweet Sailor right behind them. And we see one Polish completely on the right over there near the ley line. We're going to see a nice dance battle between Vari, Sweet Sailor, and Foiled when he comes into the mix.
I believe Foiled needed to cross in front of Vari, so Sweet Sailor can establish his dominance over there. At the moment, Foiled is in a really bad position. Exactly, that's exactly what I meant. No, you don't. You don't need to follow them. You don't need to follow them. Why are you covering your teammate? Go away.
And Vari is going to use that to stay close to them. Zimus in front sailed pretty much all the way on the left over here. Want to see who's on the right. It is Attila and Kila, who managed to find some wind pressure on the right. Alone, she is being chased by Yoko, who's not far behind, 28 meters. What's happening
The real
between
problem
Sweet Sailor, Foiled, and Vari?
is if Harding, yeah. If you have 1 and 2, you cannot have the last one.
Vari taking the penalty by Sweet Sailor over here. So if you have 1, 2, 3, you can have 9, 10.
Yeah, but if you have 1, 2, you cannot have 7, 8, 10. So at the Swedish, at the moment, just need one position.
Yeah, well, let's do some quick maths. 9 and 1, 10, 10, 20. They have 27 now if we snapshot the ranking. So they are winning with this combo.
Yeah. Well, by
they need to
1
secure,
point.
yeah,
27,
by 1 point.
28.
Yoko got close to Antila, Ankila, and Zimus at the front. Who is going to be, so the rest of the fleet also rounded the mark already. Vari is going to round the mark with Foiled. Let's go to Formansky.
Let's see if
behind
Vari
Yoko
can.
over here. Tila Akira attacking over Yoko. She's going to want to concentrate on him. Dr. Cool is going to split. And Zimos is going to stay on starboard.
So Polish is still winning 27-28.
And this is really a toss-up until the end.
Foiled needed to be more aggressive against his opponent. Because at the moment it's hard for Vari to come back. Sweet Sailor need to have a Vari. Need to have a Harding in some way.
While Zimus still has the first place, and Tila, Akila, and Yoko are battling for second place, though they are not close to each other.
It's really tough to say because at the moment I cannot tell you. But I believe on a Swedish win at the moment. On a Polish win at the moment.
Well, as the commentator is wanting a show, we're going to root for the Polish. And Brendan Conway, thank you for the follow.
What do you think about this left wing shift here?
Well, you can see the dark patch approaching first, or approaching fast. It might be interesting to go, but watch out for your opponents. I think both teams really need to be your focused on what the opponent is doing because it's really close in terms of score.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't focus too much on the shifts, knowing that your opponents are still very close. I'd focus more on what your opponent is doing. And then Tila Kila is going to be sandwiched between two Swedish players, and well, Yoko doing a penalty on Antila Kila, but also penalizing his teammate Foiled 1. So there is no change of places between a Swedish and a Polish boat. They've remained the same in the ranking. And it is very tough to do it is very tough to do a dial down with the Ilka with this much wind, because you're going to go very fast. So you got to be very reactive and And be careful about your teammates. It is a 1-2 for Poland. Another dial down by the Swedish. Dr. Krul on Attila Kila, who's going to be penalized again. Dr. Krul is going to sit on Attila Kila, and looks like we're going to have a 3-4-5 for the Swedish. Attila Kila crossing the line in 6th. Well, Sweet Sailor managed to, who's going to be very tough at the start over here, but it is a 9-10 for Sweden.
Yeah. It's a Polish win.
So yeah, 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8 for Poland. 3, 4, 5, 9, 10 for the Swedish.
Guys, good luck and have fun, because I'm having a lot of fun. I hope the players from both Sweden and Poland are enjoying this one. At the moment, we are 50 seconds to the start. Everyone is studying the opponents. As you remember, this one is the first time they are facing each other in this race. That'll be tough. And this one will be tough. Sieber and Furan both in penalty, but it's still 26 seconds to the start. The night is young. I can predict, yeah, well done both teams. Yeah, I totally agree. 13 seconds to the start, everyone is starting. I believe the one in the best position is Furan. Penalty for Rommel. The other are really too early. 2, 1, and go. Ooh, amazing start by Jakub Podgorny. And the Team Janek, great start for the Poland for this 9th race of tonight. Let's see what Zlajdolfin is going to do. If he's going to create havoc, if he's letting them race. Sieber is really, really fast at the moment. Not sure if he's going to take the 3rd position, but definitely is getting close to Zlajdlo. He has the right of way over Zlajdlo, and penalty for Zlajdlo. So they lost a 1-2-3, and they're just 1-2 at the moment.
Yeah, but 1-2 still winning combo. We started a poll on the chat. Who wins, Poland or Sweden? Make your vote. You still have 1 minute 30.
I also give my vote. So I'm not jinxing it. Did you vote?
I didn't vote. I don't think I can vote as the
Okay.
as a thing. Well, maybe if I use my personal account, but I am using my phone for the race as well.
No worries. Team Janek and Jakub in the lead at the moment. And Rommel and Sieber try to do not be in the same place, so they can actually try to get some good position. Furan here blocked by Zlajdolfin that get back the 3rd position. Penalty for Rommel, and is a 1-2-3 for Poland. I want to say it.
Yeah.
I want to jinx it. This is another top 4 for Poland.
But we do see 2 penalties on the Polish over here. Furan, well, Tim Janek taking friendly fire by Shiloh Finn, and Furan putting a penalty on Shiloh Finn himself. So 2 Polish boats slowing down. Furan therefore managing to take 3rd place, a place onto the podium. Sieber getting very close to Shiloh Finn, so there is a chance for the Swedish players to push another of the Polish out of this top 3 position. They need to be aggressive. And well, we've had a win in the prediction, or a Swedish win, by the voters. But we'll have to see until the end of the race.
Yeah.
whoever wins this wins.
This one was
the
a
knockout
really
round.
close one for Team
Yeah.
Yannick. This one was a really close for Team Yannick. It was more a penalty that was not sure why was not accounted from the platform, but definitely was a changing point. It's like a sliding door point.
So far, still a 1-2-3 for Poland.
Yeah.
That top mark could have been very fatal for them. The friendly fire and then the penalty from Fuan. Fortunately, the Swedish didn't find the way to capitalize on it.
I do not understand what the win is doing at the moment. So as you can see, like Team Yannick is going full speed to the mark from that position, but it's going to be a left wind shift over there, and I believe we have a fixed 1-2 now.
And while we do see Scheidlefin putting a penalty on Seabear, but then taking a penalty from Rommel, it doesn't really that much because 1 and 2 is a winning combo. Jakub already sailing downwind towards the finish line. Tim Janik following him right after this.
Rommel out of frustration, penalty to Slido. And I can say, what did I win with my vote? For Poland.
I'm not sure actually. I have to explore this. I believe did you vote with channel points?
No, it
No?
was not with channel
It's
points.
not channel points. Okay.
And congratulations to Poland that is going to the semi-final. Is the second actually semi-finalist after France, and I have to say congratulations to Sweden because he definitely put up
It could have gone
nice
either way.
match.
It could have really gone either way.
Yeah.
With
With a nice 5-4 here.
Oh no, Shiloh Rommel giving the 1-5.
Yeah, 1-2-5.
3-5, 1-5. 3-4-6. It is, ladies and gentlemen, a win for Poland. 5-4. And man, what a match was that. A lot of back and forth, a lot of ping pong in between these two teams. Well, very excited to see the rest. So Poland is going to go on to the semifinals, and they're going to battle in the semifinals against the winner of Japan versus Switzerland, I believe, or is that against France? Or is it against Italy?
No, Sweden, Poland against France, Italy, Germany against Japan, Switzerland. So
they're going to go up against France. So that's already decided. It's going to be Poland versus France in the semifinals. That's going to happen in January. The
18th, I believe.
17th or 18th, that weekend over there.
Yeah.
17th or 18th of January against France. And, well, we still have some quarterfinals to go. We are going to see Japan versus Switzerland, dates to be confirmed, and Germany versus Italy, date also to be confirmed. It's going to be the same format as we saw today. It's going to be very exciting races. And, well, I can't wait to see the rest. It's going to be a bit of a break for the players over here, so they definitely should keep practicing during the holidays, because they have to assume that their opponents will not rest. And to do that, well, you can join the TRL via the Discord, and that's a great way to practice your team racing skills with other players who want to practice team racing. But yeah, looking forward for the rest of the competition. I think it's time for us to wrap it up. Congratulations to Poland moving on to the semifinals. Congratulations to Sweden. Unfortunately, it isn't this time, but it could have really gone either way. It was a very tight match. And well, with me tonight was Alberto. Alberto, thank you for joining us. I am Oscar.
Thank you, Oscar, for having me.
And we'll see you all next time.
See ya.
Bye.